Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50 plus years. So let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and I serve as the parliamentarian on the board of the Alumni Association at Nassau Community College. I am a proud graduate. Lion Tales is a show that celebrates the successes of our alum, and together we will share stories that will uplift, inspire, and often amuse you. Each week, I will introduce you to the alumni of Nassau Community College interested in sharing their experiences while attending the college and the secrets to their success. Look for new and exciting social media pages and share any exciting news with us on Facebook, Instagram, or on our webpage at ncc.edu/alumni, and join the association as a lifetime member. The lion is the mascot for Nassau Community College. Lions are associated with balancing power, strength, and grace. Our alum possess these same characteristics and symbolize courage, nobility, and valor. Each of our alum contribute to the beauty of our college society. Together, we are Lion Tales. Today, I would like to welcome to Lion Tales Karren Ross-Fortunet, class of 2002. Karren is a proud member of the class of 2002. She received her associate's degree in communications and has a bachelor's in nutrition from CW Post. Her hobbies including working out, Zumba, and as a Zumba instructor, reading and spending time in nature. Karren has a passion for becoming a performance health and wellness coach and is working on making this her future goal. Welcome to Lion Tales, Karren Ross-Fortunet, class of 2002.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So we're going to start with what led you to Nassau Community College way back when.
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, I heard a lot about Nassau Community College when I was at high school. I went to Roosevelt High School, which is very high. And to be honest, I have to stress that Nassau Community College to me is actually a hidden gem. So when I was in high school, it was kind of like, it's a continuation of high school. That's what I heard. So I actually decided to go to another college, New York Tech, instead. I didn't like my time there and I didn't like my major. So I came back to Nassau, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made. Amazing school. I love the staff, very professional, very accomplished, very helpful. And this is way back now. So I graduated in 2002. So I started going there in 2000. And this was kind of before that open door policy where you can go to anyone, anywhere, and everybody's door is open if you need help, especially a lot in the workplace with management. That wasn't really popular at that time. But at Nassau, everybody's door is open. If you needed help, if you needed anything, if you didn't get what you needed at the level that you came in at, whether it's registering for a class or getting in a class that's closed, you can always go a level higher. And the door was always open and someone was always willing to help me.
And so some of your first experiences being on campus, coming from the high school setting, and then all of a sudden you're on a community college campus, what was that like? Even that time, because now it's 20, it's not 25 years ago, it's about 22, 23 years ago. Wow. So it's 2 decades. And, looking back, what was that feeling like?
I was a little nervous at first, but only for a minute, because as soon as I walked in the door, everyone was comforting. The professors shared a little bit of their outside lives or how they came to be professors. I had a lot of adjunct professors at first, and they all shared where they came from, what they did, what their level of education, their background. And I really felt embraced. I felt a very warm embrace. I felt welcomed. I felt like I could, approach my professors about anything. I remember one particular year I had a hard time, true story. I was taking Spanish and I had a family emergency where I was absent for a lot of the class. And when you take a language, you have to spend a certain amount of time in the lab. And I wasn't able to spend that time in the lab. And pretty much at the end of the semester, I went to that professor and let her know that I really do want to pass this class. And she told me, well, if you spend this amount of time, I believe it was 2 hours a day in the lab, you can catch up. I will accept all of your late assignments. And she did.
Wow, that's great because that helps you to continue on the path instead of having that little glitch in the armor and then you can't continue. And sometimes people would give up, but that's really wonderful that she was willing to assist you, which I think all professors should make accommodations, within reason for their students. And do you remember any of the professors that were that big inspiration? You know how it's hard to remember their names. I know that we always say that.
It's so true. And I mean, like you said, you're looking back at 22 years now. I don't remember names, but I do remember what they did. And that's kind of like a quote from Maya Angelou. You might
Yeah,
not remember, what someone said or what they did, but you will remember how
yeah,
they made you feel. And I
yeah.
completely remember that from taking something called office technology, which was typing at the time. That professor was amazing. But there was this one professor. I was a student at CW Post and I couldn't grasp chemistry. And someone suggested go back to Nassau, take chemistry in the summer. It's going to be so much better. You'll see. And I went back to Nassau, and this one professor, he was heavily into raw veganism. And I think that
Oh,
had nothing to do with chemistry at all, but he was so passionate. This was his life pretty much. And he started talking to the class about it. And I was over 200 pounds at the time when I took this class. And I'm listening to him talk about the benefits and the way the human body has the process, the capability of repairing and healing itself, given the proper nutrition. I was amazed by it. And when he saw my interest, he's like, I have this DVD so that you can really understand what food can do for you. And he loaned me his DVD where I saw this doctor. He put his clients on this raw vegan diet and he reversed all of type 2 diabetes in these patients. Every symptom, they were off meds by day 5 of being at his retreat. And there was one client there that had type 1 diabetes. And of course, there's no cure for that. But he regained his vision to the point where he no longer needed glasses. So even he benefited from this raw vegan diet. And that professor, and through his passion, changed my life.
yeah, that's something that's just incredible. And, the fact that there's a connection made and then you can also spread that information as well. Now, one good thing, as far as mentoring and guidance for people, again, why is that important to you? Again, like now you have information where you could spread that wealth to other people and possibly save their lives. Why is that something meaningful for the work that you're doing?
I went on to get a degree in nutrition and I see the benefits. I see medicine is absolutely necessary, but sometimes through treating our body through proper nutrition, it can reverse a lot type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. Getting combining that with movement, it can reduce anxiety and depression. It's such a great good. It actually became my passion. And honestly, Lynnda, I think that's pretty much how the world goes round. I know something, I share that with you, and then you in turn can teach and impact so many lives. I think that's really what makes the world go in such a positive direction. It's critical. And I have a motto within myself, the only wasted experience is the one that you don't share. So having
Right.
the professor share this valuable information, even if it's not related to the subject, it just really it impacts and changes lives in such a positive way. So at the end of the day, he taught me, I'll teach others, they'll teach others. Look at how many people are influenced by this one professor.
Right. It's amazing. And, again, spreading the gospel, but there are many gospels. It's not just in a religious sense, but in a sense where when we have this bit of information, it can change the lives of the people that we interact with. And now, you as a newly elected Nassau Community College Alumni Association board member, what are some of your ideas for working with the association? And again, bringing your expertise and your, spiritual love into the fold there at the association. What do you think that looks like for you?
New life. I
Yeah,
am so excited to be here and to do that. I've come to realize over the years that our material possessions and our bodies are here to serve us, and we
yeah,
in turn are here to serve others. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to serve so many, to take the skills and talents that I've acquired over the years and share them, with others. There are people there that have just come out of high school, like I was many years ago. There are people there that have come here from other countries that face all sorts of challenges. And if I can share what I know to make their lives better, then I feel like mission accomplished, job well served. I feel like that's what is supposed to happen. And I have so many ideas of what I would like to implement as a board member. I'm just very excited to do it all. I'm looking forward to really getting the Alumni Association, their presence out there and known. And this is the best time because this is the 40th anniversary of the alumni. I feel like we should just celebrate that and just give the alumni new life and let everybody know what we're doing and just get everybody else on board.
And there are so many people that were touched by Nassau and really are going on to do such great things that we're so excited when we can find them. Now, spirituality is also very paramount, in your life, and it has led you down an extraordinary path. Can you highlight some of the key elements of that journey if you had to sort of encapsulate that?
Miraculous, amazing. Absolutely. I would love to. And I owe it all to my son, Justin. For those of you who don't know, I have an amazing 20-year-old son who has autism, profound autism. He's nonverbal, but he has a smile that lights up the world. The journey that raising him has taken me on has led me directly into spirituality. I would have never come down this route had it not been for him. It started with me actually falling to the lowest of low. Having a child diagnosed with autism it's so overwhelming and it's isolating and it makes you feel alone. It makes you feel like this is happening with you and your child and nobody else. And when people ask me how autism impacted me, it shattered my soul. There's no fiber of my being that autism did not touch. But when I hit that level, I just incidentally found out about life coaching. My brother mentioned it to me. And he says, yeah, I became a certified life coach. There's this online program and you can help people. And for some reason, that really resonated with me. So I said, I want to do that. And you know how you go on YouTube and you'll Google something and then other things will come up. So I was Googling life coaching and then motivational speaking came up. And I started hearing these motivational speakers for the first time. And I said, I want to do that. This is amazing. There were issues in there that touched on my son. Like there's this famous quote from Goethe that says, see a man how he is, and he'll be that way. But see him as he could be and as he should be, and he'll be better. The late, great Zig Ziglar had a son with cerebral palsy. And the doctors told him he'll never walk, he'll never be able to move, he'll never be able to do anything. And through working with him day after day, inch by inch, being consistent and relentless and never letting up, their son walked across the stage in college. And it gave me hope. And I kept Googling other motivational speakers because I was so excited. And then that's what took me to spirituality. I started watching videos and I was like, I want to know. And I began to wonder, who am I? What am I capable of? What is my purpose? What are people's purpose in being here? And now I've come to realize that we're here to continue the world going round. What we do for each other, the knowledge that we share, the good deeds that we do, the examples that we set, the things that we teach allow us to grow higher and higher. And you can literally see everything changing right in front of your face, the rapid expansion with people going to the moon, for recreation, just to explore AI, so many things. And this is all coming from sharing of knowledge and service to each other.
You were listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Karren Ross-Fortunet, class of 2002. And we are speaking about some really important topics, something about how would you go about mentoring parents of children with special needs? What is your advice to them, especially when the children are very, very young and they're coming into school for the first time, 4 and 5 years old, and they're expected to sort of conform to the school day, but it's difficult. And as an adult, now your son is an adult, and also for him to, immediately conform to the ways of the adult world. How has that been for you, and what advice might you give to some parents that need that?
As a parent, I would say take a deep breath and know that it's going to be okay. When my son was diagnosed, I feel like I was given a series of worst case scenarios, and I begged and pleaded, please let him talk. And the therapists were telling me at the time, if he doesn't talk by 6 years old, you can just forget it. And he was like, please let him talk by 6. And he didn't talk. Please let him not have behaviors. Behaviors happen. Everything I said, please don't let happen, happened. And I feel like that happened to me for a reason. And again, I sense spirituality because I feel like if I can do it, I can share with other parents how they can do it. I want them to know they're not alone. I felt isolated, and I want them to know that there are other parents out there. I'm out there. And it was a nerve-wracking struggle. I would say to parents that raising a child with special needs is a marathon. Pace yourself. Take time for yourself. Even if you have to schedule time on your planner for yourself, you are important, and you need you to keep going. Your child with special needs that you're caring for needs you to keep going. So always remember to do at least one thing for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. It's a marathon. You don't have to be perfect. Do the very best you can, and the rest will fall into place.
Yeah. Do you find too that with your experience as a vegan or learning about veganism, do diets assist with the young child's growth? And what are some meals that they should be eating in order to, help with brain function and possibly make sure that they have good nutrition? Because a lot of autistic children don't like texture, certain types of things in their mouth. They don't like the feeling of it, like if it's very mushy or if it's hard. So what are some suggestions for that?
Absolutely. For some reason, children on the spectrum prefer starchy diets.
Yeah.
And I thought by going back to school and getting all this nutritional information, I just go home and do it for them. But
Yeah.
no, they don't. If they don't like it, they don't like it. I recommend a very relaxed approach. Try to disguise the good nutrition in something that they do like. Pancakes, for example, you can put something healthy in there. You can put zucchini in there. You can make a cake with beans, instead of liquid, you can actually add beans. So there's recipes online that you can sneak healthy things into things that the children might like, but it's a process. There are food therapies out there. My son, Justin, again, worst case scenario, he was so skinny as a child that we were talking about a feeding tube for him because he just wouldn't eat. He didn't like anything. And we ended up taking him to a food therapist that literally used an ABA approach to get him to try to eat other things. So there are tools out there that can get your child to eat. Sometimes you can even do like a first then thing where you give them maybe what you want them to eat, maybe a tiny carrot stick, and then you can give them the food that they prefer. So I recommend a gentle approach because eating is something that's very important, and how we view food, we want it to be relaxing. If food nourishes our body, our soul, it gives us energy. And so we don't want it to be forced, like eat this or else. So, very gradual. To this day, I'm still looking for healthy things that I can implement in my son Justin's diet. And I usually do it really one thing at a time.
Yeah. And now, as far as your weight loss journey is concerned, and as we know, we see multiple videos on TikTok about weight loss products and weight loss drugs. And also just, people in a calorie deficit that were able to lose, 250 pounds, which is really incredible. But there's so many different things, protein powders and recipes. What are some things that we should be promoting, and what are some things that probably maybe are not as good as we think they are?
I'm so happy you asked that question. One of my passions in life as a speaker is to get people moving. If I could give one piece of advice, get moving and stay moving. I do a motivational minute every day on Instagram, and that's the one that I talked about today. Yesterday, I had this profound experience. I work out on the weekends with this personal trainer, and he he's transformed his whole house into a gym, including his entire yard and garage. And everyone who goes there struggles, except for this one 18-year-old relative that I brought there yesterday. He did the most hardest exercises. He wasn't winded. He didn't break a sweat, and he was wearing clogs. He wasn't even dressed for a workout. The difference between him and everyone else, he's been moving this whole time. He played football from the time he was like 9 years old, and now he plays lacrosse. When you're physically active, it does so many things for the body. I know that there are so many weight loss products and things you can inject yourself with and all sorts of shakes and pills, and they say they get it done. It's almost like the only person you're fooling is yourself. Your body needs to move. We're creatures of movement. Yeah. And you notice as you get older, you get more stiff. You go to get out the chair and maybe it's a little harder. Yeah. That's because you're supposed to keep moving all the time. I can't, I liken my wanting to tell people, you ever watch a scary movie, Lynnda, and the killer's in the room and you're like, get out of there, the killer's in the room. That's how I feel about telling people about getting moving and exercise. Exercise, now eating is actually, if you are going to balance it out to 100%, eating what you eat is more important than, it has more of an impact than the movement, but the movement is so important. Now, what you're eating, eat a variety of foods, lean proteins if you're trying to lose weight, lean proteins, lots of fruits and vegetables. The more you eat as far as vegetables and fruit, the better. I feel like there are quick fixes to weight loss, but it's not serving you. It's not serving your body. It's not doing the best thing for your body. So yes, you will lose weight. And that's something that people do. And I was that person. I was 250 pounds and it happened incidentally because of my son in autism. I was so distraught. I felt like I couldn't make it through the day. And I would promise myself, like, if you just make it through this day, you can have a pint of Haagen-Dazs vanilla chocolate chip ice cream. I know where this could go wrong if I'm promising myself this every single day. And it did. I ended up at 250 pounds. And my son with autism was a runner. He was an eloper. He would just break out and run when I least expected it. And one day I went to chase him. He was 3 years old and I couldn't catch him because I was so much overweight. Wow. And I knew I had to change. And what I ate made a tremendous difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. You are listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Karren Ross-Fortunet, class of 2002. I would like to thank you for being our guest today. What advice would you give to the incoming first-year students, whether they're new or adults who are returning? And then how can our listeners contact?
Absolutely. To the people coming in, I would say explore the campus, explore the different departments. When I first came to Nassau, I hadn't even decided on a major. I wasn't sure. And they had a career development center where they gave me an assessment, and it was also helpful. So take advantage of everything that's out there for you. Take the time to go through the catalog, speak to your advisor, see what you have at your fingertips besides the classes that you're taking. Try to participate as much as possible. Join clubs. Just really enjoy the rich experience of Nassau.
I would like to thank our guest, Karren Ross-Fortunet. How can our listeners contact?
Okay, I am _Karren RF on Instagram. I give a minute of motivation, either a minute of motivation. Some days I do a minute of inspiration, but 7 days a week I'm on and I give that minute of motivation. And you can certainly message me there. I'd love to hear from you.
So we were just speaking about advice for incoming first-year students, and some of them are coming in as newly high school graduates, but some of them may be returning as adults to college. How would you sort of encourage them and address them coming back into the community college setting for the first time?
Yes, I would welcome them back with open arms and just really, and I would encourage them to reach out to each other. I know as an adult, when you come to college, it's different. When you're coming from high school, you do things like go to the student union, you participate in activities, but oftentimes when adults return, they're returning because they're already in the workplace, they have families, they have a lot going on. I would encourage you to make a friend or two there at the school, then to see what's available to you. Sometimes there's extra programs for the adults. I don't know if you have them right now, but all sorts of things. And definitely join the alumni. The alumni is an amazing organization. We're on the move this year. I'm excited about all that we're doing. We have great programs, outings, and we're at an honorary dinner at the end of the year. So many things happening. So keep in touch with the alumni.
Yeah, we've been to a few conferences where alumni associations are present, but they were surprised about how active our alumni association is and that we actually have it up and running. And so what are some of the things just for outreach? We have used PSA announcements and, mailings and all of these different things to make sure, because there's so many alum. What would be one thing that maybe we could do to sort of, entice people that have graduated to kind of come back? What do you think works? Do you think social media is like the most effective way?
I do think social media is a very effective way, especially Facebook. I think today's generation is more into Instagram, but I think previous generations might be more into LinkedIn and Facebook. And so that's a wonderful way to reach out and tell them what's going on with the alumni, especially this year. This year is special, and we really want to bring people back. I also recommend having an open house. I know that the school is having an open house, but I recommend us having an open house. So much has changed over the years, even since when I graduated in 2002. There's new buildings, there's new departments, there's new programs, and it would be wonderful to show past alumni what's been going on and maybe even see what they'd like to get involved in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to make sure, how you could just be talking to someone randomly and they say, oh, I went to Nassau, and then, they can be potential guests, but they also can join the association. One other thing I wanted to ask, going back to the weight loss journey, what types of meals would you prepare for yourself as a female during the day, when you wake up in the morning, and about how much water should we be drinking? And, some of those, I guess, ideas that we're hearing, but we don't know what really works and what doesn't. So when you wake up in the morning, what is something that you might go to?
Water. We're mostly, believe it or not, our bodies are mostly composed of water, our cells, and we need that. When you get up in the morning, it's kind of like starting your car. You're jump starting yourself, you're jump starting your day. And there's no better way to do that than to hydrate. I have water right beside my bed. I always try to carry water with me. And that's the first thing that I do. I actually feel energized once I do that. You wake up and you feel kind of and sluggish. Once I drink my water, I'm good to go. And one thing I would really strongly encourage people to do as far as weight loss is, number one, always have a snack readily available. Have you ever worked a long day and it's like back-to-back meetings and you get out and you're starving?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you just end up going for whatever, like the first thing you find, drive through, whatever, that's what you go for because you're so hungry. You just want to eat something. But if you can carry a small thing of nuts or a piece of fruit or something with you that you can snack on throughout the day, it keeps you from getting that hunger to where you just want to eat just anything and everything. And I also, meal planning. From the moment I decided to lose weight, I thought I'd better have my meals available and prepare them in advance. And even now, I prefer to plan my meals for the week on the weekend and make them. And that way I have them. So if I have a late day or whatever, the food is there and it's readily available. I believe that's one of the biggest keys in successful weight loss, having healthy food readily available at all times.
Excellent. Thank you for being here today. Thanks so much for being our guest today. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and I serve as the parliamentarian on the board of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association, and I am a proud alum. Lion Tales is available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcast, and Spreaker. More information is online at nccradio.org. Thanks for listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.